darling, you're beautiful. Gotta keep your head up. Never let anything bring you down. Sunshine will always come around. Stay strong, move on. You have such a beautiful soul. Let your energy radiate.
Hey everyone, welcome to Midweek Yoga. It is actually not midweek, it is Sunday, July 5th to be exact, 2020. We are in the middle of experiencing our lunar eclipse as well as the full moon. So I thought it would be fun to have a practice out here outside. The voiceover I am making is based on the fact that there was so much beautiful natural noise after my yoga practice that I had no other choice but to re-record. In the meantime, if you're interested in any other yoga practices that I can offer you in addition to meditation, please message me and I will invite you to my YouTube channel. So let's just get settled in here and start to get some movement in the hip or sacral chakra area. That is the second chakra right above the legs, in between the hips, and just sort of rolling around. If you're in a sitting position, great. You can follow my movements, circular movements. If you're laying down, maybe tilting that pelvis forward and backwards. Just so you're starting to feel some fluidity and some movement in this area, the creative sacral chakra. It is also an area of fluidity, so we know that the full moon affects these areas. So wherever you've moved forward, move back, making sure that we're in equal movement on both sides. And just sort of opening up that area for today's meditation, inviting in fluidity as well as a recharging of the body. We will get into some breathing exercises a little bit later in the practice, just to energize ourselves at the full moon. With the lunar eclipse, it's also important to remember that it's time to let go of things that are not serving us. So whenever in doubt, just move the body and let that stagnant energy or vacillation or stiffness or any kind of blockages pass. When you're ready, let's just kind of settle into the body, settling into a natural breathing pattern, allowing anything below the hip joint to relax and settle in. Natural breathing pattern here, no need to do anything excessive or aggressive. Nothing to really pay attention to other than coming into your breath, maybe closing the eyes or turning the gaze about 6 feet in front or 3 feet in front. If you are laying down, certainly a soft focus into the ceiling or the sky, or just closing your eyes and naturally falling into your relaxation. Everything below the hips, the legs, drawing down into the ground. If you're lying down, the backs of the legs pulling into the earth. Cross-legged like myself, you'll feel the outer edges of the feet drawing down, outer edges of the legs and the knees drawing towards the earth, and the layers of the earth. If you're sitting in a chair, imagining the sits bone, the back of the thighs drawing down, heavy and supported, weightless. When you're ready, start to allow that movement that we just had in that hip sacral area to draw down into the ground. If you're on the back, again, the tailbone, the back hips, the buttocks will start to draw towards the earth. Sitting, you'll feel it coming through the hip bones, through the sit bones, into the mat or the chair. Feel free to loosen up any tension that you might have in those areas. If you're sitting cross-legged, you might want to recross the legs in a different position. If you're sitting in a chair, maybe wiggling out the ankles or drawing up the knees towards the chest. Certainly if you're sitting or you're in a lying down position, maybe just drawing those knees up to the chest and allowing them to fall back down to the mat as you recline and feel the hips melting into the earth, the lower sacral, the lower abdomen, everything below the belly, just drawing down. And maybe on some inhalations, feeling that lower belly starting to fill up and then release. Maybe drawing the belly towards the backbone on the exhale. And then imagine, if you will, the weightiness, the heaviness starting to rise up above the belly button, everything up until the lower rib cage and even the back, maybe the thoracic spine area, the middle of the back, just starting to drop down into the ground. Feeling the weightiness, the heaviness, but also the lightness in the inhalation. Knowing that we can feel the polarity. It's not an either or an or. Sometimes it's an and. So feeling the heaviness and the lightness. Feeling the grounding and the lifting. Feeling the loosening, but also recognizing the blockages and tightness. Drawing movement into those areas, or just a deeper breath, a deeper presence. And when you're ready, imagine the inhalation and the exhalation opening up that lower rib, middle rib, back rib area. Maybe expanding the heart and feeling the rib cage really open up and expand and draw down towards the earth. Again, if you're sitting up, maybe feeling that through the back of the spine, drawing down to the tailbone. If you're lying on your back, feeling that rib cage opening and melting into the earth, while still allowing the torso to inhale and absorb. And on the exhale, pressing out through that lower belly up into the backbone, really expelling the energy, releasing all of the breath. Still inhaling naturally, allowing the softness to come perhaps across the collarbones and the shoulders. If you're sitting up, maybe imagining the shoulders are two cliffs and the arms are just falling off of those cliffs like waterfalls. And if you're on your back, perhaps the shoulder blades melting back into the ground, allowing the shoulders and collarbones to draw back as the upper arms and the forearms just draw towards the earth, the chest expanding. Maybe the hands are making contact with the knees, or they're at your sides. Maybe you folded the hand over the lower abdomen, feeling that rise and fall of the breath, and just allowing once again everything to melt in with full connectivity to the body, and moving and loosening and opening up any areas that feel tight. The breath now drawing in through the nose, opening up the throat and the back of the neck, maybe feeling the extension of that neck bone against the mat as you lie down, feeling the jaw fall back, maybe the cheekbones falling back as well. As that breath warms up the palate, maybe there's a soft sound happening, a little whistle or a hum, just a vibration in the eardrums. Feeling now the back of the head drawing into the ground, and if you're sitting up, perhaps the back of the head has become heavy over the neck. Let's try to keep the neck engaged. We don't want to collapse in that area. Maybe drawing the chin in a little bit, keeping some stability in the sitting, while still being able to feel the energy and the draw down. allowing any slight facial movements to loosen up any blockages you may feel in the face. Smiling, maybe raising the eyebrows, lowering the eyebrows, opening the eyes wide and allowing them to release back to a closed eye or low gaze. Feeling the cheeks start to melt down, the eye sockets drawing back and down, eyebrows melting into the forehead, until finally we are at that crown where we can really feel not only the lift, but also the drawback and the release and the relaxation. A few breaths here on your own, and if you'd like to take this moment to pause the video and just have some more time to enjoy this relaxation and grounding. Otherwise, start allowing yourself to come back into more of the body, the present breathing, the sensation of the space that you're in. Perhaps adding any additional movements into any areas that are just feeling a little bit stiff and maybe not so fluid as we would have hoped. Sometimes just breathing in and acknowledging those areas allows us to be a little bit more present in knowing our body and what we need, whether it's movement or breath. Just understanding what we need and also what we don't need, and the ability to let go, which is all part of this lunar eclipse cycle. Just letting go. No judgments, no right or wrong. Maybe there's right and wrong. Knowing there is a polarity, that there's not always the either ors, but the ands. And allowing ourselves that freedom, the freedom to experience both sensations at the same time. Experiencing energy as well as relaxation. Experiencing letting go, and also holding on to the things that are important and are serving us. Maybe allowing this full moon to bring in more fluidity and also stillness. Being able to know the difference and to know what we need. The freedom of choice within ourselves to experience the polarities. And now, if you're ready, let's try a little bit of a pranayama practice. Let's bring in some of that energy into the body. It starts with an inhale, a deep inhale, preferably through the nose, and then exhaling in short bursts also through the nose by contracting the belly, bringing that navel into the backbone in sharp staccato exhales. So it will start to sound and look a little like this. Again, breathing in deeply through the nose, exhaling. Allowing that breath to come in with that rapid fire exhalation. You can also do it all in one movement without necessarily stopping for the inhale, but allowing the inhale to come in between the exhalation, looking and sounding like this. Deep inhalation, long exhalation. You can always try that a few times on your own. My recommend would be not so much during the day in the heat, it's really not necessary, but perhaps in the evening or even early, late morning like it is now. Definitely a wonderful way to get some energy built up in the body, especially after a little relaxation, just when you're wanting to feel a little bit more movement in the body while still feeling the calmness and the relaxation and the fluidity. Remember, you can have it all, and it doesn't have to be either ors. So hopefully you enjoyed this little bit of breathing practice, a little pranayama, bringing energy, this breath of fire. And if you have any questions about it, again, please feel free to message me and we can dig a little bit deeper. In the meantime, enjoy this celebration of freedom in your practice. So take care. I love you, and hopefully see you next week.
Darling, you're beautiful. Gotta keep your head up. Never let anything bring you down. Sunshine will always come around. Stay strong, move on. You have such a beautiful soul. Let your energy radiate.